day is Friday. Friday, June 9th, 2017. You're watching MMA Junkie Radio here, and it's our pre-show. We're warming things up. We're awaiting the arrival of Kevin Lee, who's about to make me look like a fool, and I'll tell you why. Last time he was here, George goes, "What time's Kevin Lee coming?" And I go, "Man, that fool's always late." Sure enough, he shows up early. So, this time, I was like, all right, maybe he'll show up early. And now he's going to be late. So, I don't know what to do with Kevin Lee, but I have a surprise for Kevin Lee. He left his glasses at the Peruvian restaurant that we did one of our events for Junkie Gathering. And we have them. I'm wearing them right now. That's why I look like an asshole. So, there's that.
So, he does like.
How's your day going, Ghost?
Apparently, I'm being an asshole.
Really?
What'd you do?
You're
coming up in a minute.
You're coming
said
up in
you
a
were
minute.
I guess.
All right. There we go. Best pre-show ever, right?
Yeah. Stuff and things. Coming up at 30.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Guy. I will be your ski instructor and your chef.
You're coming up at 10.
Damn, if anybody knows that reference, serve a prize.
Danny must be high or something. That wasn't even that funny.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Gaz. His co-host, Becky's handling all the producing duties. It's going to be Danny. Sitting to my right will be UFC lightweight Kevin Lee.
Why am I Gauze?
But
Goose.
he just texted me. He's running a little bit late. That's kind of his thing.
No. You know what happened? Last time I put him on blast, you asked me, you go, "Where's Kevin Lee at?" I go, "Man, that fool doesn't get here till later. He's always late." What'd he do? He showed up early. Remember
really?
I looked like a fool?
Oh, I wouldn't remember that.
Now I'm mad.
He
now he's late
said
again.
There's traffic at the Spaghetti Bowl. Where's the Spaghetti Bowl?
It's just the freeway. It's just because it's round, you know?
I know, but what part is officially the Spaghetti Bowl?
I think the whole thing is the Spaghetti Bowl.
Nah, there's got to be a specific part.
Really?
Goes
Maybe
there.
the intersection then? I don't know.
Let me check. Las Vegas.
Well, okay, what's a Spaghetti Bowl? I don't know.
I've heard that before, like on the news, but I got it like on. It's like the third most important thing I'm paying attention to when I'm watching. The Las Vegas Spaghetti Bowl
Is the first one how hot the traffic and weather girl is? And then what would be the second one, like what the weather is?
It is the system interchange between Interstate 15 and 515, Route 93 and 95. So over there by downtown.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Keep going. He'll be here. He'll be here for almost 2 hours. We'll cover a lot with him. And Martin Stabilo has gotten the latest odds for UFC Fight Night 110. We'll throw out some parlays. I guess Dan Tom kind of put out his picks. I've had my thoughts on some stuff, that I want to do, and it seems like I'm disagreeing with Dan Tom. He likes Hunt. I like Lewis. But Lewis is more of a homie pick. Like I think it was Marco. I realized that Mark Hunt is a solid kickboxer. I mean, he knows how to kickbox. Like wrestling or jiu-jitsu that exposes Mark's ground game. He does have brutal strength. I mean, if someone taught him a Kimura, he could break your arm just on brutal strength more than technique. But he's not interested in that. He wants to sling them dogs. And it's not that he can't catch Mark. It's a heavyweight fight. Anything can happen. But that one scares me a little for the Black Beast. I want him to win. But I realize what I'm up against. So if I'm going to play him, I'm going to play him to KO early. As the fight goes on, I'll feel less confident about the Black Beast. I mean, it's not like he loses the power, but it'll tell me that that's more mat time, more mat time in one guy's specific realm. Just like Conor and Floyd. If I were to tell you it ended in the second round, you go, shit, did he catch him?
Yeah.
Right? Or even maybe did Floyd catch him? I mean, I don't know. But as the fight went on, I think you'd go, 12-0, 12 rounds to none, Floyd or whatever. So we'll see. Now, the one he likes that Martin told me was he likes Daniel Kelly. Kelly.
He kind of likes Daniel Kelly, though.
He does. He did correctly pick him against Rashad, but I don't know against Brunson. Okay. Brunson's losses were to two pinpoint strikers, and they were back-to-back. But I don't know, man. I feel like everyone else, he's been able to get to the ground. And Donkey Kong, he's got some really, really good ground and pound. And I think he can do that to Kelly because Kelly's just not the most athletic. Kelly?
No.
Brunson. Right. That's what I'm saying. Kelly, he just doesn't have, light feet. And he doesn't have athleticism, I guess, balance, that sometimes will keep someone on their feet, even if they get in deep on a double leg or a single leg. There's a lot of people that just have good balance, whether it's, if they get put back against the cage or their techniques, using underhooks, wrist control. Kelly is a savvy and wily veteran, but I don't know that he has the athleticism to stop that over and over. And this other kid, man, he really commits to his wrestling. And when he gets you down, it can be a world of hurt. And I don't know. 2 fights is a good wake-up call. You know what I mean? So
I want to go back to the main event real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing that I firmly believe in, and that's rest. And Mark Hunt had none of that. I just don't think it's a good situation to be facing a guy with heavy hands like that. 1, the head, just the trauma. And 2, the body, from the last camp. And even
that
this
was
one,
only in March, right?
Yeah, man. So, it's a close fight for me, but I'm going to look at that factor, and because of that, I'm going to sway over to the Black Beast. George.
Goes gun to the head, though.
Black Beast.
Oh, wow. Your life depends on it. You take the Black Beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not making calls or anything like that. I'm sweating it. Trust me. I don't want to die, but gun to the head, I would do that. I want to shout out a couple listeners. One of them is the guy that George just brought up, Martin Stabilo. Think about this. Jason the intern was here 5 weeks. He was only here 4 more weeks than him. He's here he's been in Vegas for a week, and he's been here for every show.
Martin the intern?
He's kind of Martin the intern at this point, yeah. So big shout out to Martin. And then also, we got a package today in the mail from Lerone Gainey from Maryland.
Oh, yeah?
And he knows us. There were Cheetos, Tostitos, Sun Chips, bunch of chips in there. So
very cool.
Thank you for that. And I also want to remind
everyone.
Make a
batch of chili soon?
Ooh, that does sound good.
I'm not a Cheetos guy. I've never liked them. and I never liked the orange. Yeah, it just seems like a whole.
You have to eat a lot to get Cheeto finger, though.
I know, but I just, like, I see around the rim of people's mouths and their fingers, and it looks like they had a good time with it, but it looks like too much to go through.
Say if you picked it up,
the couple
was
times
it good?
the couple times I've eaten it, it's not even that good.
Really?
Yeah.
Cheetos are awesome. Wow, that's surprising. Okay. Wow, you kind of blew me away. I also want to remind everybody.
Fritos.
Fritos are good, but I heard
and
that
I like chili Fritos.
The regular Fritos are the worst chip you can eat.
I can imagine that. A lot of salt, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I heard that fast food Taco Bell is the worst one that you can eat.
The shell, or the what?
Just Taco Bell in general, like the way they cook the food.
I believe that.
That with I think McDonald's was like number 2.
You think he's gonna pick off the glasses right away?
Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see.
All right,
I'm
joining
wearing
us
Kevin
now.
Lee's glasses right now.
Joining us now
See if he gets
is
pissed.
Kevin Lee.
What's up, Kevin?
What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm digging the shades. Okay.
You like them? They're nice, huh? Yeah.
Detroit versus everybody. What does that say?
Yeah, Detroit versus everybody.
All right, I like it.
Shirt, man. Yeah, it's a nice shirt too.
You look like you're in good shape, and the weight's coming off.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because I'll tell you what, when we were in Virginia, I feel like
a little more plump.
Well, no. I remember you were very disciplined. I'll give it up for this guy.
Yeah.
He was very disciplined in terms of what he was eating. And you had said you just wanted to go to fight camp maybe 5 pounds less than normal or something. Yeah. But at the same time, there was a couple nights where we indulged, and I felt like I'm that guy a little bit. Come on, have another one, or this or that. And then walking out, I'm like, I wonder if I cost him like additional road work or whatever.
Nah.
I don't feel like we had to do that with that group. You did?
Nah.
No,
there
but
were
still.
times when they were doing it to us.
Yeah, we had some fun.
We were, but just like, stick around. Come on, one more. Whatever, that type of thing. Then that leads to 2 more. And
well, you just, if you're an adult, you know what you can do and what you can't do. And even sometimes it is good to kind of let go. You know what I mean? You can't be at 10 all the time. You know what I mean? You can't be, eating nothing but salads and greens all the time. Like it's just it's not a very sustainable. So sometimes I do let go. You know what I mean? But especially when I'm 3 months out from a fight.
But the weight's on point.
Weight's on point right now, baby. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I've been ready to go for 2 weeks now. So
yeah. No, you were ready to go about 3 weeks ago in Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really was. And now I'm just maintaining. I'm just ready to get it in there and get it in. So now it's just about staying healthy, not doing nothing stupid. I've already had all my hard sparring, really. I'll probably get in one more good hard sparring session tomorrow. But like I said, the most important thing is staying healthy right now. And, my timing is there. I brought out, 4 or 5 different training partners for this camp, too. So, and I beat the hell out of all of them. So, I'm feeling good.
Kevin, you realize I'm wearing your glasses, right?
Yeah, they look good on you.
Hey, man, I like these, but they're like another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing.
When you take them off, holy shit.
You feel different, huh?
Kevin goes through so many glasses and phones that I think God. I actually thought for a second there that he really thought those were just cool glasses.
I thought so, too.
Not that they were
I
his.
do kind of go through a lot of glasses, though. No lie. But,
George, when you take them off, everything is so much more brighter now. His shirt is like off the charts.
Now watch.
Really?
Now wait till you put the
You guys
buffs
trying to
on.
get a Ray-Ban sponsorship or what?
One day I'll have you wear the buffs, and then you'll be like, man, I feel like $1 million in these. Like,
the buffs?
You just feel better, like when you wear something like that.
What are the buffs?
Remember Ray's Bananas?
The buffs. Everybody because I broke my buffs during the scuffle. The security guard, when he reached out and he grabbed my face and broke my damn glasses. Those are $3,000.
They're Ray-Bans called buffs?
No, they're Cartier.
Cartier, okay. And
Yeah,
they're called buffs.
It's a Detroit thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm
Buffalo.
saying. I'm trying to learn.
Oh, sorry. They're made of buffalo horn, so they're called buffs.
You had $3,000 glasses on?
Man, and he broke them. And they got insurance, so I got them fixed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got them fixed. But I was pissed.
How did they break? Because all you did was connect with him. Was it just
when the security guard grabbed me? He's like frantic, and then I was kind of tossing those guys to the side, so they just flew off my face. And
I came with the intentions of talking about that day, but at the same time, is it just something that's been buried and knock on wood, there hasn't been any repercussions?
Yeah, it ain't been no repercussions. Thank God, I'm going to keep it that way. But, I talk about it all the time.
All right, let's break it down.
Yeah,
go ahead, guys.
I just want to ask a question about a previous incident. The weigh-in thing, the whole that. Was that
I don't know.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's only 4 and 5 because that would be ridiculous.
I would
That'd be
ask
fucking
just to make
ridiculous.
sure, only because if I'm the UFC and you ask me that question, I'm gonna say it was for one fight because I don't want him to take it easy because he knows he can't get a bonus.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
would just ask the
it's
question.
ridiculous anyway. Like if that's not in the
But the other guy only
contract,
missed.
it doesn't make any
Quinta only
sense.
missed the retreat, and he got 3.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Well, then again, he also trashed the hotel room. But
I mean, things like that. We're independent contractors. Things like that should be in our contract. If you say, hey, I can't do X, Y, and Z, otherwise I won't get X, Y, and Z, then that makes sense. But when you kind of leave it up to hey, we want y'all to get the fans into it, but not do too much. Like it doesn't make.
Have
any
you been
sense,
told
know what I
that
mean?
at press conferences? Like,
No. Actually, from my general vibe, and especially like during the UFC retreat and everything, the UFC love. They love me. They know what's they know what it is. They know what's up. So.
attaboy. Like a wink or anything like that, or was it like, don't go down that road again? Like what kind of a feeling? What kind of a vibe did you get?
It was actually just it was kind of like the first vibe, like yeah,
Attaboy?
yeah,
Okay.
my man,
Just
like,
because a strike was thrown and
I mean,
man,
but it wasn't because they understand, it wasn't on me, you know what I mean? I wasn't the one to do it, he was the one to stand up and say, he's gonna slap the fuck out of me. So, when you do stuff like that, when you say that and then you walk up on him, like what you think gonna happen, So the UFC, and they ain't stupid, even Sean Shelby, he came back and he talked to me and he's like, yeah, what he thought was gonna happen. Like when you stand up and you say, like if I was to say I'm gonna hit you right now, you would have your guard up, you would defend this, and me, like I'm throwing the first shot. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna.
Well, I don't know
if
if it was.
You know what though?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. If he said I'm gonna hit you, I might be more chill than if I heard him say what's good. What's good to me now means Kevin.
I
means
love
business.
what's good.
Yeah.
Right,
if he said
right.
what's good, then I'd be
What's
like, oh
good?
shit.
What's good?
Because that's what it is. When you
Is that what came out at the moment, or is that what people say in Detroit?
yeah, it's just what we say in Detroit. But
Oh,
it
really?
is what came out in the moment.
Okay,
We got a
so
couple
what's good is
different,
along the lines of let's do this. or-
Yeah, let's do this. Like, what's going on? Like,
What's good?
What's
Okay.
up? Like,
So if I'm in Detroit and I bump into someone
or if you're walking down the street and
somebody goes, "What's good?" then that means they want to fight.
Trouble.
Yeah.
And I would be thinking like, "Oh, not much, man. The D's pretty cool." I
Nah,
like
nah,
the
you in
stadium and
trouble.
the people are nice and the chicks are hot and next thing you know, I'm getting decked.
Yeah, bend your knees, put your hands up, cause that's you
What's
in trouble.
good? Wow. Okay, so it really accelerates in the D.
Mm-hmm.
What's just all right.
Quickly.
And now, Goes, maybe you can bail me out, but it was either Brian Stan, Chael Sonnen, somebody that has that's a fighter and has a media presence, said, "What did you expect?" He goes, and they gave you props for moving out of Detroit. You said you wanted to leave that life behind.
Mm-hmm.
You and your family, you came out, but at the same time, you don't just forget about the first 20 years of your life and where you're from, it's in your fibers, right? And so what they said, what did they expect? What did Chiesa expect? He's from Detroit. He's not just gonna turn it off either. Is there something to that? At that moment in time, because it looked like he was smiling and everything, but when he did approach, I mean, all of a sudden there was no And you're a very cerebral person. I've come to find, it seems like there's maybe that one layer in between. Man, maybe I shouldn't do this because I'm a professional fighter.
And fuck it.
But but you went straight to fuck it. He's coming at me and boom, there's the punch.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's just how we were raised, me and I kind of see the differences between even how me and him were raised, because if he really did feel like I was disrespectful and and he wanted to do something, if it was me and I really felt disrespected, I'm burning the building down. I'm sorry, I'm going to jail. Otherwise my mom would be disappointed in me. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't do that, I'm going to jail. Ain't no 60-year-old security guard gonna hold me. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna happen. I'm a nice guy. And, even afterwards, I even apologized to the security guards and whatnot, and they were cool about it. But if that switch got to be flipped, I'm burning the building down, dog. It's over. If not there, right in the I'm not.
He's so nice though, isn't he?
I'm not stupid, obviously.
I've seen him with. I've interacted with him in Virginia, and then you came out to the junkie gathering, to the lunch, and okay, I just have this recognition of people that are going through the motions, or people that just. So your parents raised you right. Like there's manners. He gave everyone attention. He shook some people's hands with both of his hands, and gave them that moment. And then when it was time to leave, he did leave. But I've seen so many other fighters just kind of like, and then boom, they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's so fake because they turn around and you can almost see them going, oh my God, that guy, the pictures and fuck, leave me alone, And it wasn't that at all. That's why when you went from professional, promoting the fight, to all of a sudden stand up and throwing a punch, I was like, wow, you really went back.
Yeah, and then
back to Detroit.
That's what again, what you gonna expect? It's just. At that point, it's not even about selling the fight. You know what I mean? It's just ain't gonna be no disrespect without retaliation, right? I mean, to run up on me is disrespectful to me. You know what I mean? Because that's you ain't no bitch. Above all, I might be a nice guy all the time. I'm not a bitch, so and that's just what's gonna happen. So I mean, it's. That's just what I do. I'm a fighter. Like, what you expect? I fight. I beat people up.
Well, see, to that I would say a lot of people would show restraint. So I don't know. It's just you're a fighter. But again, as it was explained, or not explained, but as they brought it up, I did think to myself, it's true, man. Some of us, the fuse is just a little bit shorter, and things escalate. Either whether it's how you were brought up, or maybe one day you took an ass whooping. And you said never again. Maybe someone got the first punch on you once. And you said never again, and that was a life lesson to you at 8 years old, at 3 years old. A bigger brother won, a bigger cousin won. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think everybody just has different triggers.
I mean, again, it's just I don't even know what to. It just is. It's just. I guess it's just.
Ooh, he was gonna say it is what it is.
Yeah, I was.
Good job.
I've been avoiding that and just saying all the time.
I can't get out. I keep doing it.
Oh man, I'm trying my best because people hit me up all the time. Like, can you stop doing that? But
we got Jay Haran to stop. He was the king of it, right?
Yeah.
It is what he'd say it like in three sentences or 3 times in one sentence. Tell us about the fight with Ben Askren. Hey, it is what it is. Man, he got me down, and it is what it is. That's his style. I disagree with the judges, but it is what it is. We'd be like,
see, I stopped myself midway through it, but it's just the way that you were raised and in the values that you have and in the culture that you have. Because when you really break it down, we all have different cultures. We're all born and raised in different places, and that's why we market to different. I market to a completely different aspect of the culture than Chiesa does. I mean, that's why the UFC knows what they're doing. They're making good fights.
What were you gonna say when you said, "I heard his mom has front row tickets"? I guess I should have the quote ready.
That's what
so that could have went in so many directions.
No, I said
that could have just went in the direction of. She's going to have a first-hand seating of her son getting beat up. I mean, he almost took it as you were saying something way worse than
what
that,
I was saying was, show up for the fight because your mom's going to be there. You can't not show up for the fight if your mom's there. Your mom's there. You can't not show up.
Right.
That was it. So maybe he thought I was going to take it a different direction. Apparently, he's a big mama's boy or something like that. That's what some fans have reached out and told me. But I don't really know. I don't really care. I don't really. We're professional fighters. Like, he's not my friend.
So what was the line going to be?
Show up because your mom's going to be there.
Show up because your mom's going to be there. Okay.
Can I ask kind
I
of a
wouldn't have
silly
been
question?
that offensive, right?
Nah, I don't
But
think so.
but it's not like it's not like I
even
make
boxers for many years, even pro wrestlers have said, "I'm gonna hit him so hard his mom is gonna feel it."
Yeah.
So I don't think moms are off limit.
No.
I think moms are off limit if you talk about you interacting sexually with the mom or hitting their mom or But other than that, I mean, you can't just say. I mean, because at that point, your mama would be it would be lost.
Yeah.
Right.
We're grown men here. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah, you have a mom. Yeah, you have a dad. I don't know nothing about your mom. I don't really care. We're not friends. I don't really look into. I don't watch any of your interviews. Like, I don't really care about your personal life.
Right.
That's your personal life. At the end of the day, you my enemy. And that's kind of how I view it. You trying to take money out my family's mouth, and I'm gonna do the same to yours. So. You damn sure right. If it become down to his mama and my mama got to eat.
And I've heard of people within their own circles taking it further, but that's within their own circles and not in a public setting and not with professional fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But you sound like you were gonna say something.
Well, I was going to ask you, and this may sound like a silly question, but is your mom going to be there at the fight?
Actually, she won't. She won't.
She
be
won't.
there. No.
But if she was,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it kind of like
yeah,
a Lee
yeah.
thing where if his mom looked at your mom would probably
Oh, yeah.
maybe act similar? Like,
no.
what are you
My
looking
mom,
at?
my mom is the sweetest woman in the world. My dad now, he might, but
Yeah.
my mom she's super sweet.
You told me
she's like
stories
that.
about your dad. I want to meet your dad.
Yeah. Probably my dad probably would, but
Within the last 2 weeks, and he said my grandpa, it was some sort of a presence that the grandpa had. I think it may be Kevin Holland from LFA, whatever. Okay. Did your family say anything about this incident?
no,
like,
they understand. They know what it is.
Okay.
The day that I got back was Mother's Day, so I went over. We had a good time.
So nobody said,
So,
you were headed towards.
Well, I mean, no. My
a
mom
mo-
did say if the roles were reversed and he would have said something, and she was like, "Yeah, you better whoop his ass." Like, I don't care if it was, if it was right there in front of the cameras or if it's backstage. We ain't going to the same backstage. So I can fine you if I want to. You getting that ass.
Was it a relief
Sean
when Oklahoma?
Shelby, I mean, I love everybody with the UFC, but it ain't no way. If I flip 10, they ain't gonna stop me. Sean's only 4 foot tall. Sean Shelby had to get it too. I'm sorry, I'll move him out the way. But that's kind of what my mom. She's like, yeah, if it was the roles were reversed, I'd probably be disappointed.
Oklahoma City, they exonerated both of you. Was that a relief? Were you expecting anything, or did you have a feeling that they weren't going to do anything?
I'm still kind of expecting a little, hush hush, a little, something on the. I don't really know.
Well, they already
I'm
said.
hoping not.
It seemed like you already.
Yeah,
cleared both of you.
officially, but I'm expecting a little bit at least. They have to, and it's understandable that they do because you don't want guys doing that. You know what I mean? You don't want guys, punching each other at the. It's not a good idea. Just for the sport in general, because if we do it, the younger guys are gonna do it. But and that's one thing I tell the younger guys: I do not like fighting for free. I swear to God, like it's not like enjoyable at all. I've done enough of that already. I'd much rather on June 25th he show up and then say he gonna slap the shit out of me, and then we'll see what was really good. So,
You both go relatively to the same area after all that. Did you ever run into him at all?
Elevators.
Yeah, oh yeah, and we ran into each other at the UFC retreat. And he avoids eye contact and everything like a play. I'm a motherfucker. Like, it's one thing, when I'm like sitting around and talking, even when I talk to like other fighters that were there at like the UFC retreat or like at the press conference and stuff, I'd sit around and talk, we have a good time. But if I view you as the enemy, like I'm a motherfucker. I don't say that about myself. Like I'm an asshole, Like when I was down in Brazil, and I don't know, people think that I'm doing it for like the cameras or something. But when I was down in Brazil, I was screaming at Francisco in the hotel lobby where nobody speaks English. Everybody spoke Portuguese, and I'm talking shit to him in the lobby where there was no media at all around. That's just how I am. So when we were at the retreat, he avoided. I gave him. I can tell. I give him the stare from across the room. I could tell, and you kind of see the guy just like, checking out his shoes and checking on that cheap $100 suit that he got on. Making sure it ain't chafing his ass. But so.
When the line is crossed with Kevin Lee, is it crossed for good, or at the end of the fight? If you shook your hand,
I'm a professional. At the end of the fight, I'm a professional. Actually, some of my best friends have been guys that have already fought. So like Michelle Prazeres and me actually are good friends, even though I talk mad shit about him and he barely speaks English. And I talk mad. I had Drysdale talk shit to him because he's my translator. So, but now like when I see him, I congratulate him on his fights. We have a good time. So.
Something a little different about your training camp this time that we've been able to notice from social media is you're doing a lot of work at the UFC facility.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Oh, it's awesome actually. I really I've been taking advantage of it, and I told them the day that they were announcing it and kind of showing around, I was like, hey, y'all might not want to be too, because they're like, come every day. 3 times a day, we'll feed you free meals and all this. I'm like, hey, y'all might want to slow down because I really will be in this bitch like every day. But so far things have been smooth. Things have been great.
You've been in there a lot.
When I show up, yeah, they mean it. I thought.
Who else has been there a lot? and by that I mean since you've been there a lot, you would have seen a familiar face.
Yeah. I mean, Francisco, or not Francisco, Francis Nagano.
Okay.
He's been there pretty much every day that I'm there, and he's a terrifying human being. I don't really like talking to him.
You don't say what's good to him?
Interacting with him too much, because he also doesn't really understand English, so he gives you this really like mean mug look when you talking because he doesn't understand you. So it's kind of intimidating, no lie, you know, and then these big dudes, 6'4" and whatever. But it's been him. It's been a lot of guys. Jorge Masvidal have been through a couple times. It's been a lot of guys in and out, but nobody else that's like, I don't think really running their camps there. Tim Elliott did with me as well. He's getting ready to fight this weekend
against Ben Wynn, right? In New Zealand.
Yeah. So he's done a lot of his camp there. But I think I was the first person to spar there, and hold multiple sparring sessions. So, you know, hey, I'll take advantage. If nobody else wants to do it, I'll do it. You know, I'll be the guinea pig.
Did you get your meals there?
Yeah. The thing is only open from, like, the mornings, basically. So they feed you lunch and breakfast or whatever. But, you know, not really. Sometimes. But, you know, they feed you a little bit. But, you know, that's not why I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm there to use mostly the recovery aspect. When I went down and I trained with the Pistons, one thing that I really noticed about their facility is that they really geared their people towards the athletes. You know what I mean? Like, they understand that they work for the athletes. So, you know, they're at you. They're like, hey, you need to do recovery stuff before. Like, what do you need? Like, you know, you need to do it afterwards as well. You know, the more you succeed, the more we succeed. And that's kind of the same feel that I get over at that UFC facility. Whereas in some gyms, most gyms, I'll say, they're like, hey, this is my gym. You know, like, if you want to come here and you want to work out, cool. You know, like, you got your own thing doing. But there it's like, you know, hey, you're our guy. You know, we want you to get better so that we get better. You know what I'm saying? So, I much rather prefer that.
How much does all that extend to as far as training partners and coaches? So if you bring someone in, can they all get a meal? Are they all welcome?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Want
but,
me to hold some mitts for you?
Know, I'm like,
Carry some bags?
You know, what promotion was that where they're paying guys like millions of dollars? Affliction, you know, where they're like, yeah, we'll pay you $1 million to fight. You know, some nobody. And you're like, yeah, I don't know how long this gonna last, but hey, you know, give me the $1 million, sure, why not? So, you know, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but yeah, we've been taking advantage of it. So, you know, and like I said, the facility is great. You know, I really can't complain. You know, they have places for us to sleep and, you know, play Xbox, and, you know, sometimes I sit up there 8-9 hours a day, and I don't have you know, like I said, I don't have a wife, I don't have a kid, you know, I don't have nothing else. So this is what I give a very large portion of my life to, and that's why I fight so often. But this is what I do, so I take it like a full-time job.
How come Danny's not in my ear telling me we need to take a break?
I don't know.
Danny?
He's probably
Been
just enjoying
listening.
the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Kevin Lee.
All right.
I finally met him in person. I like to actually hear from him now.
My man.
That's right. You remember the blue hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
How could I forget?
Well,
yeah, how could I forget?
I just didn't know if you
Danny?
could put that together with the
I'm
voice.
Like a big piece of cotton candy on his
I
head,
will
huh?
say that the voice is totally different than the look. I will
You
give
should
that.
hear him
Yeah,
sing, dude.
Totally.
He's a singer.
Oh yeah. You guys, you can sing something?
Play some automatic
Go ahead,
253
dude.
on the way out.
Yeah,
to
on the
commercial.
way,
Do your
on the way
thing.
back we'll play.
On the way back
All
to
right,
commercial.
there
All right, we
you
got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We got UFC lightweight Kevin Lee in the house. He gets down on June 25th. It's a Sunday versus Michael Chiesa at UFC Fight Night 112. So we're just a few weeks away. Stay close, folks. We'll be right back.
Junkie Radio Network. Hit us up on Twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
That's him.
That's him singing. All right, there you have it.
Hey, George.
That's Danny, the producer.
Would you rather have Danny's blue hair or look like the KFC Colonel with that type of tan and white hair? So you can look like you, but have Danny's hair, or you're the Colonel and you got that brutal tan and white hair.
I think you could pull off the.
This is like my forever look.
Well, let's just say for 2 years.
I'd go with the long hair, just because I'm losing my
Danny?
hair. So to have hair again would be pretty cool.
Would you dress the part, or would you just dress the way
I would
you
do different things that I always want to do if I ever had long hair. Maybe Rasta man it.
Do some silver tips. I think you can pull that off. Blue hair, silver tips. I think you can do it right now.
Yeah, find that wig.
Do a little Odell Beckham on them. You got it.
Man, I went out for a pass one time. I was at my little nephew's game. It was halftime. Somebody threw me a pass, and I go, "Watch this! I'm Odell Beckham." I caught the pass with one hand. My buddy clowned me. He goes, "You have the hands, but you look more like Slowdale Beckham." Bunch of parents heard it. They were all laughing. I was like, "Fuck!"
Damn.
I owe him one for that one. All right, we got to take some calls. 866-522-2846. This is Kevin Lee in the house.
This needs
He's
to be.
got the Mike Chiesa fight coming up at UFC Fight Night 112 on June 25th.
It needs to be refreshed, but I know who's on hold. Let's go. Danny, can you go to Doncho? Who happened to be your opponent at the press conference.
Oh,
right.
And
My
he was
man.
Stoked. He got the mask and he was really happy.
Yeah, my man.
What's up, Doncho?
Good morning, George Goes and Kevin Lee. How you doing this morning?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I gotta say, man, I have a little unsettled beef with you from the press conference. Because of you, I can no longer wear my Payless sandals out in public. So I'm in the search for some brand new shoes.
Are you watching right now live? Because these Air Maxes just dropped, and they actually, I don't know if you can see, but they're actually, not too bad. Anyway, go on.
Get some of those.
I'm gonna give you some suggestions,
are
bro.
those $1,000 shoes?
These?
Yeah.
No, they're only like $200.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but
Because I remember when we were in Virginia, you said you had I asked you about some
Yeezys.
shoes.
Yeezys. Yeah. I can.
$1,000, $3,000 for.
No, I think
You just save well, or
like
you
$800 for those
slinging
Yeezys.
on the side, or what? Like,
I mean, I will
there's
say,
so many fighters that complain about money, right?
I
Slinging
will
on the
say,
side.
if you just surviving off of what you make from fight purses, you a dummy to me. You gotta take money to make money.
Okay, so you have investments that are.
Yeah, I make some money on this.
Or-
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
or do you have a
know,
rich
I-
uncle,
I
or-
do my thing. Nah, the hell no, I ain't got no rich uncle. But
No,
you know,
seriously,
I make some investments.
He's been through
I
like
do some
4
things.
phones since we've known him. Phones are expensive. I know you got the insurance and everything, but the $3,000 glasses we just found out about. Well,
That's
no,
true.
there was.
That's
I mean,
true.
there was insurance to fix them, but he bought them.
Yeah.
And then the $1,000 shoes in Virginia, and then a new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
and
yeah. You know, I do my thing. I try.
You robbing banks? 7-Elevens, Denny's. What is it?
Hey, if
No,
you're
I
gonna
make
rob
I
somewhere,
make good money.
why
you know,
7-Elevens? Why people do that?
we
I
don't-
know you make good money, but I've interviewed a lot of people that are at your level that are like, oh yeah, this. And they're struggling, and
a lot of what it is them dudes only fight like once a year too. Like he took like one fight. He made like 80 G's and then he sat a year on that. Like, what are you doing? Like, maybe made 80 G's. Like, fuck that. I'm right.
You
I'm
own
ready
two
to get
houses,
back
right?
in there, baby. Yeah.
Do you own one or two?
In Detroit, I do. I own 2 houses in Detroit.
Okay, so I thought you owned one here in Vegas too.
No, I don't yet.
Oh,
but
I see. Okay.
I will. I do now. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm actually going through it right now. So
You're in escrow?
Yeah. Not yet.
Okay.
But already got like the loan and all that shit.
Doncho,
approved,
sorry.
Yeah.
Payless?
He's on the phone.
Payless
Yeah.
shoes.
Let's go.
I was on hold. Thanks. I'll beef aside. I just want to say, Kevin, it was a an honor and pleasure to do that with you. I want to thank George and Ghost for setting that up and for coming down. And it was a memory I'll never forget, and I really appreciate it. You couldn't be a nicer guy, too. So I want to thank you again.
Oh, my man. I appreciate it, too. I had a load of fun, too. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks, Don, for the call.
All right, guys. All right, take care, guys.
See ya. Marco from Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco, ¿qué pasa? To St. Kevin Lee.
¿Qué pasa?
What's up, baby?
Don't be talking about my mama, man.
¿Cómo está?
You need to make that a thing, dude. From here until the fight happens, I mean, you need to clown Michael Chiesa every day with mama jokes. Because it's a thing now, you know? Everybody knows about it because of it. So,
you know what I should do? I should have my man from the show walk me out. What's his name? Hector, the young Mexican guy who hosted Yo Mama, the show. Yeah, you don't remember? Yeah.
Wasn't that Wilmer? Was that Wilmer Valderrama?
I'm getting through to the kids, to the generation that y'all underneath. But anyway, go on. Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah. Hey, when you see Francis Ngannou out there, you go on his feeling time. Do they put a light go there and everybody clears out?
Yeah, no, he's terrifying. I ain't even gonna lie. It ain't many. And what's really scary about him, he just started working with my striking coach Dewey Cooper, and he's very raw. He actually doesn't have many. You can just tell like his skill. He hasn't been doing this for a long time. He's only been training, I think, for 4 years, and for the first 2 years was in Africa, where he basically even said, he's like, no, people are starving to death over there. Nobody's worried about becoming a professional fighter. Like, people are trying to feed their families. And then he moved to France where MMA is outlawed. It's not, you can't even open up an MMA gym there. So he's been training and fighting at a high level from just watching guys do it and just being like, okay, I can do that. But he's very raw and green almost, like it's fucking terrifying. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, last same dude. So Derek Lewis, clown Daniel Cormier today on the weigh-ins, grabbing the towel. But, the president, we got Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. We got Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. I'm picking Derek Lewis to win this weekend. Mm-hmm. How about you? What do you think, Derek Lewis title shot or Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou before? Or when do these guys meet? Because they have to meet eventually. Yeah. Whoever let you guys catch you guys next time.
See you, Marco. Do you think he'll be Hunt for starters, Derek Lewis?
Yeah. I for sure think he'll be Hunt. Derek's one of those guys too. Derek just seems like he's doing it just for the love of it. Don't really seem like he's getting much technique in, or really trying to even learn the sport. That's what scares me though,
because Mark's a professional kickboxer.
Yeah, but Mark's on that down slope, and I don't think he's got that.
I don't think
he got that same
fight
hunger.
with Overeem may have taken just a little bit more out of him.
Yeah.
The age, the accumulation of the damage.
Rest. He's taking a lot of damage, and he's slowing down. I mean, that's just the nature of the fight business. On his heyday, yeah, he beats Derek. Now, I don't know. Especially Derek's a big boy. Derek can take a hell of a shot. You can see it. But as far as him and Francis, I think you let that build up.
Me too.
I think let
Reminds
that.
me of Kane and Jr. 6-7 years ago.
Let that stew for a little bit. Let's see him maybe 2 years from now when they both got some. When Derek's got a little more confidence about himself and Francis has got some skill underneath him. Man, that's gonna be a hell of a fight. We need that in the heavyweight division.
One more. Showtime from Tennessee. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
GG, my boy K. Lee. No, my motherfucking guy, K. Lee. Who's that clean shaven guy over there? Is that the intern? I was looking for those. I don't know where's those.
Man, I've been shaving for about a month, right?
Yeah.
Got to get summer ready, baby.
My guy goes. Damn, K. Lee, man, I miss you, man, out at the gathering, man. I'm going to try my best, man, to get out and check you out in OKC, man. I'm going to try to get a run out that way.
No worries, my dude. Yeah, I met up with a lot of your boys, and they said that you wasn't here. So, I mean, it is. I was busy myself, too, so I know how it is.
Guys, let's just stop fucking around here. You two are never going to meet.
That's
what it boils down to here.
Probably not.
Just why don't we swap addresses and you guys can just be pen pals or email pals or
once I retire and I got a lot of time off.
But you two are just destined not to meet. It's just not going to happen.
No, hey, but I know for sure I'll be out there International Fight Week. I'll be out there that week.
Yeah, but Kevin won't
I'm
be.
coming out there. Me and
Kevin,
or if he is, he just won't.
Actually
He won't be around.
Yeah, I'll probably be busy as all hell.
Wow. And
I'll be
if
drunk
Kevin's ever
more
in
than likely.
Chattanooga where you live, you'll be on the road. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I'll probably be drunk during International Fight Week.
I guarantee it won't happen. Not this year, not in 2018. Maybe in 2019 will be the first time they meet.
There you go. We setting it in, we giving it out to the interviews or to the universe now. The interviews.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, so what you guys think about the card? I heard y'all talking about the main event. What do you think about it, Gigi? I heard
Man,
you
I love MMA so much that okay, I can look at the card and go, wow, it's not as dressed up as a pay-per-view, obviously, because that's what you pay for, or a Fox card because it's on Big Fox, but it still fights. And a lot of these guys can, in one moment, just be nada, and there's something. You know what I mean? You start to accumulate these 3-fight, 4-fight win streaks, and they matter. So we have to tune in because it's our job. But I'm telling you, MMA, when they hand you 12 fights, you expect to see a flying KO, whether it's a knee, a vicious elbow, controversy, a slick submission. You know what I mean? There's just so much that it can bring you. And granted, it takes 6 hours of your day, maybe 7 if you're into the post-fight and pre-fight and everything. But I love it. That's why I got 3 TVs in the house. And if the Cavaliers game is on, or if a baseball game's on, or a porno's on, whatever, man. I'm just sitting there on my couch. I'm a sports fanatic. I love these weekends. So I don't care that it's not the best card ever. I'm still tuning in.
Martin, you were sitting in this porn seat the other day, by the way.
So Showtime, we got to go, but I am going with Derek Lewis on this one. He belongs to Junkie Nation, so I'm just rooting for him, man. We got to go. Thanks for the call. All right, folks, commercial time. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
Plus, I
Why do you use your manager there?
Plus, I can use the training partner too.
Oh,
well, my manager runs all the shit for me, that I don't want to do. If I drop the top, I'm like, hey, pick this shit up.
They taught Andy Griffith how to whistle. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right.
Hey,
Here's what's happening in the second hour. More Kevin Lee. because it's our only guest of the day. We're having fun here. We're talking training camp for Michael Chiesa, UFC Fight Night 112. Excuse me. Happens on June 25th, one day after the Bellator pay-per-view. So that's a great weekend of fights. What's up, funny guys?
I was laughing at Kevin right now. You wanna see some of these Yo Mamas from George Wallace?
Yeah, let's do it. And he got my man Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley, mama's so fat she got a real horse on her polo shirt. She's so fat when she gets on the elevator. Oh, it's going down. Ricky Smiley, mama's so fat she go to the beach we can't see the ocean.
Gary, you was working down at the hospital.
Yeah.
And just while his mama came down there and get a checkup.
Yeah.
And you know, the first thing they do is take your blood pressure, and they had to weigh her. And she got on the scale, and the scale said, one at a time, please.
Well, that's a long setup for that one.
I'll never forget, I saw you and your mama, and when your mama went in for the examination, the doctor said, told your mama, take your clothes off. Now get down on all four knees against this corner over here. Okay, he said, now get down on four knees against this corner right here. He said, now get down on your knees against this four corner right here. Now get on this corner right here. He said, okay, put your clothes on. And doctor, she said, what's wrong, doctor? He said, ain't nothing wrong. I'm just buying a sofa next week. I want to see.
That was pretty good. That was a setup.
That was good.
And
that was
he cleaned
great.
it up nicely.
That was great.
There you go,
Yeah,
folks. So George Wallace is I mean, I don't know about Wilmer, what you were saying earlier, but I always knew George Wallace to be the king of the mama jokes. He calls it the dozens, and he performs here in Vegas. I just don't know if he's doing it. I'll look it up here during the commercial.
That's
we have
awesome.
a commercial and a sports update coming your way, and then we'll come back. Kevin Lee in studio here, UFC Lightweight. Stay close.
Almost home down the drain. People Las Vegas.
Kevin, could you see yourself more at this concert or one of Danny's concerts? Type of music.
Truthfully?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could, you know, if it was an open bar and it was free, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I could.
But which one?
See myself wandering.
He didn't answer at all.
So you hear the way this guy's singing, right? And you heard the way Danny's saying earlier.
Right,
Which
right.
one of the two would you go with?
Right. Yeah, no, I heard you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, I would.
All right,
Danny.
here's your third choice.
Danny.
You can take a nap on a bed of nails upside down for 20 minutes, and you don't have to go to either concert.
I think either way, I would leave with the same headache. So,
yeah.
You know, do I get to be drunk on the bed of nails?
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'd probably go to the concert.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was it? Give me again some of your flavor. What's I'm gonna have Danny play a song you like again.
All right. We let's go Detroit. Let's do T Grizzly then.
Make it a good one though. All
Let's
right.
make
Don't
some
let
T
us down.
Grizzly.
All right, Danny.
Yeah,
can you
let's
look
do
up
some
T Grizzly? What is he? A Grizzly? What'd you say?
Grizzly. Yeah.
All right.
Grizzly. Yeah,
T Grizzly.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
I don't know
better
what
be
T
good,
Grizzly is.
dude.
You don't know what T Grizzly? No. All right.
Because I think he has to play Drake once,
He
right?
did new hotness.
Yeah.
And the song he picked, just I know Drake's got some good music, but the song he picked, I wasn't feeling it too much.
Yeah.
Danny, you doing it? Or what are you doing? Playing with yourself?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
No, new hotness. You know, we in the
What
new
about this first day out? Does that
There
work?
you go. I mean, that's got a long build up though. I don't know how much time we got here. You know, that one you got to let stew for like a minute. You know.
You want me to skip ahead?
Yeah. There you
Nah,
go.
let it go.
These niggas prayed on my downfall. What? These niggas prayed on my downfall. On no 10, bitch, I stood tall. You did? Show
I've heard
these
this.
disloyal niggas how to ball. Go get a thermometer for the pot. I need this shit cooked right. Let's keep that water 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You ever been inside a federal courtroom? Nigga, you ever went to trial and fought for your life? Being broke did something to my spirit. Ass niggas to plug me. They act like they couldn't hear me. Look at me now, driving German engineering. You don't want your baby mama fucked, keep the hoe from near me. Kilroy. Remember when I used to use your L's to hit the road, hit the O and make them big boy sales? Move. Remember when you had them green things mailed with vacuum seals, trying not to have them green things smell? Feds was on me. What you know about related through money? I don't know nothing. I just used to see them walk to the Coney. I fuck with bitches. My body count go from Persian to Cody. Any further questions, you could take that up with the lawyer. My nigga Finkel J Money. Brimo Low Project Joe will tell you every day before school I sold a half bow. How you think I won best dress with no support and had them paid lawyers coming in and out of court? Hey Wando, hey Theo, ain't it a blessing? We made it out Kentucky after all that happened. After the pre-trials, after the status, after them impact statements, after the castle. Hey JR, nigga, ain't it a blessing? We made it out of Lansing after all that happened. That bitch, nigga. After Michigan State, after Hubbard, when our mans told on us, them bands they took from us. Joy Road, bitch, but the money long as 6 mile, brick mile. Knock your bitch down, pick her up, knock her back down, pull her tracks out.
No, y'all ain't rocking. Y'all ain't rocking. All right.
I'm dying right now. I like the song.
So do I.
But I'm laughing at the camera because he's like this, and you're just like this.
I'm trying to listen to the lyrics.
A lot of time on the yard with them gorillas, stood tall. Did I let niggas hold me? Quit being silly. I know for a fact your bitch pussy get wet for a nigga. Cause I do it better, plus I'm doing better than niggas. I'm at home when I'm down there in Lexington, niggas. About the king, they gon' drop you in, who next to you, nigga? Go get it. Say it, Lil T. Get ahead of them niggas.
Danny,
when you take off, don't look
turn
back
it down a little.
rescue them niggas. I got his mans to make sure you get the rest of them niggas.
Does he purposely play the bass like that? Is that?
No, it normally ain't. You know, the
are we
speakers
just-
on this just ain't that great.
Okay,
but
okay.
Nah, the bass ain't like that. But you know.
All right, I'll say this.
That's what it would sound like in my car.
I was trying to hear the lyrics, and quickly I identified that it sounded like. Now I know the connection of
Yeah.
Detroit. You know.
Yeah.
He's talking
from
about
Detroit,
struggles and things like that, telling a personal story. So I wasn't bobbing and weaving, but not because I didn't like it, because I was trying to really
Listen
concentrate.
to it, yeah.
I'm not a lyric guy. Goes knows a lot about lyrics.
I love lyrics. I love lyrics almost more than the song sometimes.
Right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
I was
not
actually
me. I just
over
like.
here
How
reading
about
the
you,
lyrics,
Danny?
too.
And so then I like the melodies and the
Yeah,
beats
yeah.
and all that, and how how the song's constructed
Well,
with the instruments. But I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention. So that was pretty cool. It
And
really
again,
was.
And, and it's like a culture thing, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I grew up kind of listening to because it's kind of relatable, you know?
Yeah.
With what he say, he made the song the first day he got out of jail, and he went to jail for robbery or whatever it was. You know, I think he's tried to like rob a jewelry store or something like that. But
I
it's
thought
just
maybe he won a Grammy.
but it's just a struggle, you know what I mean? And the reason why I listen to guys like this and new guys, because he doesn't like glorify it, when you like listen to his interviews and shit, he's like, yeah, no, I was stupid, I was a kid, I was 16, and it's just stupid, he doesn't never glorify it, you know what I mean? Like you hear like some guys, like some of these like fake rappers, they like glorify being from the hood, or everybody, especially like the young kids now, everybody want to be from the trap, and like when you actually live there, and when you actually live next to a trap, or you actually live next to an abandoned house where people are running drugs and they're doing that, it's fucking terrible. Like you don't want to, like, and that's what guys like T Grizzly, like he understands that, and that's kind of like the music that he promotes. Like you obviously have to appeal to the drug dealers still, you know what I mean, because those are going to bring you the money, but at the same time you talk to the kids, like that shit is fucking terrible. It's not really like nothing to. You hear a lot of these rappers that grew up in the suburbs, and then once they make a little bit of money, they start smoking a little weed, and like they feel a little better, and then they like, hey, I'm hard. I'm from the, yeah, I'll kill somebody. Like that's not like, it's really terrible. When you grow up and you live there for so long, and you do that, and you worry about, your kids eating the next day, or you worry about your lights being turned on. Like it's fucking terrible. So, it's nothing to glorify.
You superseded all that. You went above that, and you made something out of yourself. But did you ever come close to falling into that trap?
Absolutely, yeah. And
who saved you?
And it could have been my dad, really.
Yeah.
Because I had already seen what he went through when he was young, and you're pretty much like your dad. You know what I mean? And I remember he showed me a picture of him when he was 16. And I was maybe like 14 or 15. But I could see the similarities, you know what I mean? Like, I could see, like, that could be me, you know what I'm saying? So, when he kind of told me, and my dad's, like, very open and honest about it, too, about the things that he did when he was young, and, just, having to be a 24-year-old man and see my mom and me, in the winter, you know what I mean? Like, me, as a baby, just the stuff that he would tell me, and just the stuff that I know that he's been through, I was like, oh, no, that ain't going to be me. I'll be damned. Like, I didn't know if it was going to be fighting. I didn't know what it was going to be at that point. I was still a kid. I was maybe 12, 13 years old. But I just knew I didn't want to do that. So I made the decision to not, whatever, and I mean, I'm going to be open here, because I think MMA Junkie kind of understands me a little bit, but whatever niggas was doing, I was doing the opposite. Like I just went at an early age. I was like, okay, well, if everybody else is out partying, drinking, smoking, doing their thing, like I'm doing the opposite. Like, I didn't know if it was gonna be school to get me out. I didn't know what it was gonna be, but I just knew I did not want to.
At what age was
grow
this?
up like that? I was maybe like 12, 13 years old.
These memories that you're talking about, do they ever come out in training or in a fight?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I kind of like put myself in that mindset sometimes. You kind of have to. And when we were filming the UFC Countdown show, I was kind of like I was a little more open about it. And even now, like I have some young guys like that work with Dewey, and that I have around me that still kind of have that hunger. Right now, there's this young boxer. He's only 1-0 as a boxer. His name's Crunch Time. But I like the kid because he's got that struggle. He's got that heart. When he moved out here with nothing, and for 6 months he slept in the Palms Casino in the in the handicap stall. He would take the paper towels and lay them down. Like how the handicap is like a little bit bigger, and it's got like that big section. He would take the towels and lay them down and sleep there for months. And one day Dewey like asked him like, where you going? Like, where are you sleeping? Like, where you don't have no family here or nothing? He's like, no, just He would walk from Mayweather's gym right there to Palms, maybe a mile away or so, and he was sleeping in the bathroom. So Dewey would let him stay with him. But I keep guys like that around because he still got that kind of reminds me like a young me. You know what I mean? Got that hunger, and when you starving like that, it brings out another demon in you. Like,
damn, I could never picture that. Somebody doing that for 6 months.
6 months a kid
Dude, that
did
would
it
be
for him.
hell like for a couple days, right?
6 months a kid, and he was like putting it on his Snapchat and stuff. I'm like, bro, you probably shouldn't do that, like, because they would come in and they would kick him out, they would kick him out all the time because they know you know if somebody fucking sleeping in the bathroom, so. But he would just go right back.
Was
to
it like a
it's just
private restroom that not a lot of people go in, or was it like on the main floor?
Both. He said it was both. He said wherever he can get in, wherever he fit in is where he would get in. He would pretend to have a room there or something and try and sneak into one of the rooms, or something like that, But it's just the type of things that you do when you from that situation. He's from New York. He's from Harlem. And his family is all still back there. He's only 1-0 as a boxer. He makes, he's fighting down in Tijuana for a couple $100, like no money at all.
Is he fighting a Tijuana taxi driver?
Yeah. They're gonna give him a couple. They 1-0, so in boxing it's totally different than MMA. They're gonna build him up for a long time. But
Danny, okay. First of all, can you see me on VX, Danny?
I cannot.
The fuck, man. All right. Second of all, what did you think of that song? You write music, and you're a musician. You write music. What did you think of that song?
I actually picked the lyric version so I could like read the lyrics because I do like to hear about lyrics and stuff. I liked it. I mean, I'm not the biggest into rap and stuff like that, but if it's got a good beat and it flows really well, I kind of get interested in it.
My man.
I thought it was really good.
See, I like that.
Could you cover it to your band?
I don't know about that.
You have the lyrics in front of you?
Not anymore. I closed out of the box.
That would probably be
well, reopen them.
Go ahead, give him a couple bars.
Yeah,
go ahead, Danny. Give him a couple bars.
Did you reopen them yet?
Get back up, hold on.
What's that?
I said I have to bring YouTube back up.
Okay. All right. Get VX up and get the lyrics up, please. All right. So let's dive deep in here since we're doing this. The trap is what is the trap?
The trap is just
getting involved in that.
It's the same thing.
Or
It's the same thing as a bando. A bando is an abandoned house. It's somewhere that you run drugs from. Like you know.
So an abandoned house that's the trap.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it don't always have to be that. Sometimes people live in a trap. It's not a good. But it's just somewhere that you run drugs from. It's a drug house.
Did you live near a trap?
It's a crack house.
Did you live near a trap?
When I was young, we lived near a couple. But then when I was 15, we lived near one, and it was fucking terrible. Like it's always dudes hanging outside. You know what I mean? Like people are coming in and out. You got the custos come through there. It's just not something, especially as a kid, you know what I mean, to see that. And you don't even understand what, like, drugs are as a kid, really, you know what I mean? You don't really even understand, like, what being high is or anything like that. So you just think, like, these people are just, like, demons.
Did
almost,
a drug dealer ever ask you to run drugs for him?
No.
Nobody ever waved money in front of you and said, come on, man, I could use you or something like that.
I could tell some stories, but fine, since we doing it. It's MMA Junkie. I'll give,
if you don't want to go back there, we don't have to.
My dad, he told me a story when I was a kid. I was maybe like 7 or 8 years old. And we lived next to a trap. Like, I'm literally right next to it. And it was pretty much, when I say, because people got mad at me for saying that we squatted in houses. When I say that we squatted, like, it wasn't like we just kicked in a door and, you just in there. Like, that's what people think of squatting. Like, squatting is also, somebody else has this house, which is just an abandoned house, and they make keys for it, and they rent it out to people. But they don't own the house. Nobody owns the house, So that's what they did. My dad, one of his partners that he met in jail or whatever, was like, hey, I got a place for your family to stay. Here's the keys, blah, blah, blah. But it was right next door to a trap. And, outside, you have a bunch of guys that are just drug dealers, and just, and most of the guys, think they, they're either in a gang or think they're Crips or think they're Bloods or think whatever. So they just looking for trouble. Like, when you're sitting outside all day, you don't have nothing else to do. You're looking for trouble. So when we move in or whatever, and apparently my dad had, my grandpa's old beat up, a Bronco, like barely moving, like it's coming down a, horse and buggy coming down the road or whatever. So, he pulls up to the house. And, and they like, who's these dudes? Like everybody's already outside, so they see us pull up, especially with like boxes and bags and shit. And they're like, who these dudes? And, he had one of my uncles with him, and, and a couple of my family's like, I got a couple of loudmouths, so my uncle's kind of like a loudmouth. If you're going to say something to him, they just like me. You going to say something to him?
What's good?
You going to disrespect them? Like, it's going to be some. So anyway, long story short, some words get exchanged.
Between your dad and your uncle.
No, not between my dad. Between my uncle and the guys sitting.
The guys next door.
Who
are drug dealers.
Whatever they are. But some words get exchanged. Some weapons get drawn.
Oh shit.
And
so that's
apparently,
beyond what's
apparently
good.
we're like trying to horse and buggy down the street. Because the car barely. I mean, the shit is like shooting. It's a cloud of smoke behind the car. And they're firing at the back of the car as we're like, trying to keep our heads low and duck out. Luckily, I was, only 7 or 8 years old, so I remember bits and pieces of it, but I barely remember the whole thing until my dad, my parents remember it, obviously. But
so obviously, you weren't welcome there, and you had to leave immediately.
Yeah, no, it's
wow.
It's certain. I mean, that's just how Detroit is. It's certain blocks. It's getting a little better, I will say, but no, it's just how it is. If
you ever had a gun
if you're not
on you
if you're not from
time?
there, then don't go to that block. You know what I mean? Like, people are so stupid, and people don't even understand. And that's one of the things that I try and tell like kids, especially when I go back to Detroit, and I try and like really like explain to kids. People are so stupid. Like, you fighting against other poor people. You know what I mean? Like, you rob, you steal against other. Like, it's been multiple times where. I've been in the house and people have came through guys will come in your house and rob while you still like the broad daylight. You know what I mean? Like,
that happened to you?
A couple times, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times.
Armed
It
robbery?
happened once when my brother was asleep on the living room couch. And I think we left to go to school or like pick up my sister or something like that. And 3 dudes came in and like just ransacked the house with my brother asleep on it. He wasn't asleep. He said that he was. Because you're a kid, you just pretend to be asleep. But, they're running through the house. They're flipping shit over. They're trying to look for something.
Damn.
And it's nothing there. We're poor. My dad made $10,000 a year. We don't got no money, Like, it's fucking robbing. You robbing the poor to give to the poor. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if they're looking for drugs. I don't know what they're looking for. But, my dad was never like a drug dealer. He's never a bad guy. My dad was like somebody who worked hard. He got up every day. He did his thing. Like, and that's what kind of fueled me because I saw how hard he worked and how little he got for it. But people will take it from you know what I mean? And that's why I give so much respect to my parents, because when stuff like that happened, my dad never retaliated. You know what I'm saying? Like, if 3 dudes run up in your house with your kid there,
right?
You usually, because they live down the street, you know what I mean? These dudes ain't like coming from like, miles away. You can see him. He's like, hey, yeah, he ran into the house the other day. You know what I mean? Like, that dude, I know what he looks like. He didn't even wear a mask, He's like, because they're kids. They're like 19, 20 years old. They're just trying to hit a quick lick. But, I will give my parents respect. They never retaliated, you know what I mean? And they always took the higher ground.
Is there ever a person that you remember from an incident like this where maybe he crossed the line so much where if you were to run into him today, you'd tell him what's good?
I mean,
everybody can think back to maybe like a high school bully or someone where you go, if I saw him today, it's on.
There's stuff like that, but nah, not really. I don't really hold no, because I understand it too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand even where they coming from. I think it's stupid. I think it's the dumbest thing that you can do, and it really doesn't make any sense. But I don't really hold no hate for nobody. Like, people have done me wrong all the time, but I always try and look and see, okay, if I'm in their shoes, like, that's one thing. I never try and judge nobody. I never judge somebody. I know a lot of drug dealers. I know people like have actually like killed people. But at the same time, I don't never judge them for it. You know what I mean? I try and put myself in their shoes and say, okay, well, if I grew up without my dad, if I grew up without this stuff, if I grew up with nobody telling me what the right thing was to do, and all I did was just saw these rap videos, and all I did was just saw these dudes that just promote violence and promote shit like that, then I probably would be like that. I can kind of already see that in myself a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I understand it. Like, I don't really hate you for it. Like, you did what you thought that you had to do. It's stupid. I wish you were a better man. Like, I wish you were strong, because it is harder to take the high road. It is harder to sleep in those, when you got to sleep in the Palms bathroom, that's harder than, just going out and robbing somebody. It really is, and it takes a strong person to be able to do that. I've slept in the gym for months, you know what I mean, in the dead winter, with no family, nobody else around, because, nobody's going to want to talk to you if you sleep in the gym. You ain't going to get no girls, you know what I mean? Like, the drug dealers get girls, the dudes with bling, they get girls, and that's why I wear, the $3,000 glasses. That's why I wear stuff like that, because I want to show the kids that you don't have to do that in order to get the things that you want. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you want the girls, you want the bling, you want the nice car, you want the shit like that. You don't want to fucking sleep in the gym. Like, who wants to grow up and like, oh, I'm gonna sleep in the gym and I'm gonna get beat up for a living? Like, that's not, they want what we have. Everybody wants to be Floyd because Floyd has, 20 cars and 50 bitches outside, and houses. He can do whatever he wants. He can move around, and that's what he promotes. That's what he does. So, I mean, it's smart of him, So I try and do a little bit of the same in the show, Hey, you can get the right things doing the right thing.
Not everybody's got your skills or Floyd's skills.
That's true. That's true.
So hopefully when you do chat with kids, you emphasize
But
school,
man, it is some kids out there with some fucking talent. I'm not lying.
Yeah,
like, man, I've been and that's one thing that people don't understand. People think like guys like John Jones is the greatest fighter in the world, which he is because he's put in the time. But when you look at like raw skill, I'm not even the most raw. Like, I'm a great athlete. Like, I'm a great natural athlete, but I'm not the best. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm just a motherfucker. Like, I can just fight. Like, I just, that's what I do. But some kids out there, man, you look at them, you like, God, that's a athlete, And he doesn't even know it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know it when I was 14, 15. Like, I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be school. Like you said, like I thought school was gonna be the way to get me there, and it did a little bit, but. If I would have had somebody to tell me, hey, you could have been a because I could easily be a professional football player, and I didn't even realize that until now, until I get around these other dudes that play football. I always thought I would be too small, but, I'm bigger than a lot of them dudes, and I'm trying to keep my weight down. I could easily be over 200 pounds and be a running back.
Well, we're both in agreement you couldn't be a basketball player, though, right?
No, fuck no.
We saw that in Virginia, right?
Yeah, no, it'd be no way. It'd be no way. But, I mean, maybe if I put in the time in the area, it'd be no way.
We got
No, I got no. But, again, I could have been a boss. I could have been, you could do a lot of other things, and that's kind of what I show the kids is, you can do a lot of other things. And it's not all about, you don't have to entertain people. Not everybody's meant to be an entertainer. Not everybody's meant to be in sports or, in something. But do something. Do something that a robot can't do. You know what I'm saying? If your life goal is to be, working at McDonald's, and a lot of kids are, like, where I'm from, like, that's what kids want, like kids want stability.
Work your way to own a franchise of McDonald's.
Yeah,
right?
they want stability a little bit. Do something that a robot can't do. You know what I mean?
I have this buddy. I won't say his name, but I think some of you might be able to figure out. But his kid just started college, and his kid is on a basketball scholarship. And he says, look, I'm having a blast. I got a little bit of PT this year. Hopefully as a sophomore, junior, senior, all that will work out. But he's also keeping it real, knows that to make the NBA is very fucking difficult to do, right? And so he's already preparing himself so that he can be an agent to his buddies that hopefully do make it, or to others. Because he played the sport, he knows the sport, and so he wants to be involved in the sport. So for sure, kids, if you're listening, do something you like. If athletics can get you there, great, but always have school as that backup.
Absolutely.
Because if athletics don't work, you have that, and maybe you can. You can work in the athletic sport that you came close to being a professional in,
I will say this. I mean, that's what got me out. Was going to school. When I left and I went to college, that's when my eyes really opened up, and I was really able to be like, hey, I can really do this. Because when I was in Detroit, like, I never thought that I could be a professional in anything. Like, I assumed that I was going to either run drugs or, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had no idea. When I went to college, and it kind of opened my eyes up to the rest of the world, you know what I mean? Because I got to see a whole different side. But I would have never went to college if I never had good grades, you know what I mean? I would have never went, even though I went on a wrestling scholarship, I would have never went if I didn't have my mind right, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's a huge part of it, and a huge part of being able to get up out of yourself and get up out of that same zone. Because if you stay in the same place, like I know people that have only ever known Detroit for their entire life. They're born there, they live there, they die there. You know, like that's it. And it's such a bigger world and so much more to see.
I was in
It's a
Detroit.
shame.
I know we got to go to commercial, so we'll start playing the music, Danny. I was in Detroit, and so I had a rental car. I was there for a week, Lakers versus Pistons, and that's when it's 2 games in L.A., 3 in Detroit.
Yep.
So anyway, I had to be there, and I'm telling you, I was driving down by, I guess it's Lake Michigan.
Yeah,
Lake Michigan.
No,
Superior.
Yeah, right off the Detroit River.
Right,
Yeah.
and you could be driving, and all of a sudden go, God, look at these houses. Some really nice houses, and 2 blocks down, it'd be an abandoned house. So it's like one wrong turn, next thing you know, it could get hood on you, really quick. It's a fascinating city. That was more than 10 years ago. I heard that the downtown's been revitalized.
Yeah.
I felt safe downtown, but I could see, just like Vegas or any other downtown,
Soon
couple
as you
wrong
leave.
rights or lefts, it could get ugly. You have to have your head on a swivel. And then the suburbs, same like any other city. Like I was in Birmingham. Holy shit.
Birmingham is beautiful.
It was awesome.
Beautiful
brick houses, beautiful land.
But again, if you actually from Detroit and you go over to Birmingham, the police pick you up and they take you back across 8 Mile.
Really?
Literally, yeah, because they don't want the riffraff up there. Because it's beautiful. It's nice. It brings too much money.
You couldn't just go there and say, I wanted to eat at this restaurant in Birmingham.
You can't go there with your boys, and.
All right.
I mean,
I got a ton of questions.
You can if you legit, you know what I mean. But if you not, they gon' fuck with you something serious. It's very, very segregated. Very segregated.
I got a ton of questions for you when we come back. We'll do some
Sure
rapid
thing.
fire. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Kevin Lee in the house.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been. And because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
All right, Kevin Lee, I got some questions for you. We'll do some rapid fire, all right?
Let's do it.
I asked you if anybody ever told you, hey, you know, I could have a job for you in terms of like a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
But did you ever have, and you said no, but did you ever have your homie say, would you, not in these words, but basically like, hey, come join our gang, or almost force you to join a gang?
You know, from what, joining a gang really isn't like, it's not like what you see in the movies, you know what I mean? Like, where we're like, hey, we're the gang, like, let's go recruit. It just, I found at least that it happens just kind of organically, you know what I mean? Like, you got, like, your 2 or 3 boys, you know, each one of them got, like, 2 or 3 boys, and then y'all all just kind of, like, you know, band together, and, like, and then after a while, it becomes, because there's so many people, you know, once that happens and you got, like, 20 people that you know and you really close friends with, and a lot of people don't understand, like, these are the kids that do that, they don't have anybody else, you know what I mean? Like, you literally have no one else. So, you know, they don't really have nobody else to talk to. They don't really have nothing. So they get those, like, 20 people that are close who also don't have nobody else. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, like, some bad ideas are going to come up, you know, and, like, and did you ever I mean, I'm still the same way. Like, if you my boy, like, I'm a ride with you. Like, if you know, I'm a ride with you. You're my boy. Like, that's just how I am. That's how it's supposed to be. Did I ever do it? No. Like I said, I made the choice, like, early. I was like, no, I'm not going to be, you know.
Did you ever come close? Tempted?
I came close, yeah.
Like, where you were in the car and then you said, hey, get me out of the car. You know, like something
recited
with you, like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this.
I never even let it get to that point, to be honest with
you. Statute of limitations is way long gone. You can confess if it went down.
Nah, I mean, I when I was a kid, I would do stupid shit. Like, you know, like I said, I walked around with, like, a gun for, like, you know.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for, like, 6 months for no reason.
How old were you?
15.
Damn.
Yeah, so.
It wasn't because anyone threatened you. You just felt like that's what you do in the D.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Which is just, it's just stupid, but it just.
It is, but understanding all this, it's.
The thing is,
it's dumb for us
from here,
from the sidelines. It is dumb.
Yeah.
But when you're there and you're around that,
it's not dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is.
It's survival.
And what it is you never really have somebody to tell you not to do it. You know, which is, like, confusing for people who never been in that situation, or who have grown up in the suburbs their whole life and have had parents and had, you know, other, like, positive role models and stuff. When you grow up like that, you never have somebody tell you not to do it. Literally, you know, as a kid, the only person you would is the teacher at school, which, you know, you ain't gonna really listen to no, you know, you got some old white woman trying to teach you math. You ain't really listening to her. Like, you know, you kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm here because y'all making me be here. But in reality, I don't really want to, you know. Like, I'd rather hang out with my boys, you know. Right. I mean, your parents, that's what they're there for.
They know you had the gun?
No.
Okay.
Because my parents would have killed me.
Did your little brother?
No. I didn't tell them until they never even found out. Like, I was actually, like, you know, I'm pretty smart. Like, I was actually, like, very strategic about it. But they didn't find out until I was well out here. I maybe told them, like, last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, maybe a year and a half ago. Because my brother is going through some stuff right now, and I kind of explained to him a little bit about the stuff that I did, you know, because when you're a parent, you think you know it all, but you don't know it all, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what your kid's doing. Like, your kids might be out doing some – and I was, you know what I mean? And it could have very easily been me locked up, you know? If a policeman would have stopped me or whatever, and, you know, I would have had it on me, very easily could have been locked up for nothing, too. It was like, why did you do that? I don't know. Right. That's just what I thought I was supposed to do, you know what I mean? Like again, nobody ever tell you not to do it. So, you know, if you're only people that you know, and luckily for me, I had good parents that, you know, kind of told me the right things to do and what not to do. But a lot of my boys, they never had parents. Like, they literally don't have parents, so they don't, you know, or their parents are fucked off, you know, their parents are always drunk or always high or always something, you know, like, and they hate being home, like, they hate being around them, so they hang around with other dudes that are the same way, right. And you never have somebody to say not to do it. The only people that you look at and see is drug dealers, and they all do it, so you're like, okay, well, fuck it, I might as well.
Did you ever have a gun pulled on you?
No.
Did you ever have to pull the gun you had on anyone?
Nah, thank God. But again, I maybe had it for like 6 months, and then literally one day, I just woke up and I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why? Why am I doing that? It's stupid. And it was because of wrestling. When I started wrestling, and I had my coach, and I kind of had goals too. You know what I mean? Like, I had goals. I was like, okay. I mean, they weren't huge goals, but they were, hey, I got this wrestling tournament coming up. I want to win it. I want to win next week too. I want to make it to states. I want to do this. Like, so when you have goals, it kind of helps. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're just sitting around and you like waiting for the opportunity. You like, oh, I wish a motherfucker like I wish somebody would
Sean Merriman said that, didn't he?
When you walk around with
exactly what he said.
When you walk around with it, you waiting like you like, oh, say something,
right.
like because that's what you're doing.
That's why he got rid of it, because he realized I was thinking more about it, when I had it on. When really I got just fine through my adult life without needing one.
Fine.
So and it was a culture in the locker room where everyone had one, and because he didn't, he felt like he was out.
And
like
it's the same way.
Cool or whatever.
And it was the same way growing up, in high school. Like the dudes that I seen, they all had one. So I was like, oh, well, fuck, I guess I should probably have one too. Otherwise, they gonna think I'm a bitch. Like, I ain't no bitch. Like, look, I'll show y'all. I'm willing to go to jail to show y'all that I ain't no bitch. And which is a stupid.
That was my next question. You ever been to jail?
No, I haven't. Thank God. No, I thought I was.
Close calls?
No, never even. Thank God.
Yeah.
So no. And again, I was always a good kid.
So it sounds like
what
to
I mean?
me like your parents. So even though this environment was there, you had a strong nucleus with your parents that kept you out. And more than anything, I want to give credit to you. Like, I mean, obviously your parents, huge influence, but it seems like you grasped this quick, and you got it from your parents. And so early on, even though there were some close calls here and there, you made a lot of great decisions. So really, kudos
and I
to
had
you, respect to you, but
still, I got to give it to them. I can't really take the credit for it because they're the ones that taught me. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I would have been one of these idiots. You know what I mean? Like my brother or something. Like, and he's coming around too. But
Keith?
No, not Keith.
Oh,
I've got a younger brother.
Okay. Oh, okay. He's still in Detroit?
No. He's here in Vegas.
So you brought both your brothers here?
My entire family, yeah.
Oh, your mom's here too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. I literally a month after I left and came here and was like, okay, I'm setting up shop here. I called them. I was like, hey, pack y'all shit. Let's get in the car. They literally just put the clothes that they had in bags and drove over here with nothing.
I've heard this. I've heard this in the broadcast where they say Kevin Lee brought his whole family, but I just thought it was you and your bro.
No, it's my entire family. No, we lived in like when I first got here,
Wow.
When I first got here, I got a little 2-bedroom apartment that was already fully furnished. Like you can, I rented it from some dude. I just got it off Craigslist or whatever, but it was already furnished and everything. So I was like, and it was 2 bedrooms. I was like, hey, y'all come down here, sleep in his other bedroom, and they did, and they stayed there for like 6 months or whatever.
So who's here in Vegas?
Eventually, my mom, dad, youngest brother. My sister was here. She moved away, but and then Keith.
You
my
really
younger
did
brother.
move your whole family out here. Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, no, and they
Did you know all that, or did you just think it was him and his brother?
I thought it was just him and his brother.
So
and
did I.
I remember Mother's Day, you took her to Paris, right, or to the Palms or something. And I thought she was just in town or something.
No.
She lives here.
Yeah, she lives here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got him a house up in Centennial Hills. So, I after the 6 months of staying in that little 2-bedroom, I was able to buy him a house, and I actually still pay for most of the house, and able to get my dad a job. He truck drives now, so but I just pay for like the little schooling and shit that you need to be a truck driver. So he truck drives, he works good, makes good money. Me and my brother, we moved away from them. We live in our own little place.
Keith.
Yeah, me and Keith.
All right. And the younger brother, how old is he?
He's 16.
Okay.
But he lives with my parents, but he ain't living there right now. So
he's not living with your parents, or he's not living with you?
No. I talked about it, but he's in jail right now. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
okay.
so he gets out in June. So
in time for your fight?
June 23rd is the.
Have you had communication with him since then?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Does it sound like
we went up there and seen him? He's like kind of going towards Utah area. Got him a very good lawyer, and they were able to put him in.
Vegas trouble or Detroit trouble? Please
no,
stop
Vegas
me
trouble.
if I'm crossing lines.
No. Vegas trouble. He's 16, so
right.
young.
And
still.
like he gets out. You said in time for the fight.
June 23rd. Yeah.
Okay, and then have you seen him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we seen him
what
two
does
weeks
his
ago.
eyes tell you? Like,
He's
I'm done with this?
He's
A
so much
lesson
better
learned?
now. He's so much better
Good.
now. But again, and this is like the thing that I'm trying to get through to other kids too, because he just, and it's, I mean, I'll talk about it openly, because he just didn't have. It can be kind of hard, you know what I mean, when you don't have that direction, you know, to go towards. And even though we've got the same parents, we've got the same everything, he's got the same values.
He's got you, too.
It's a little bit harder on him because he's got me, you know what I mean? So when you're 15 and you don't really see a way, because it can be hard living in your brother's shadow. Like, you know, I can kind of see it from his perspective too, you know what I mean?
Is that
Like
true, George?
if I had an older brother.
Is that true?
But you know, when you 15 and your brother is, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the shit or nothing, but you know, at least I'm successful. He just wanted to be, and especially to go to school, and the kids know me at his school because I live here in Vegas, you know, and they would like see me around, and they're like, "Oh, you rich, huh?" So you'd be like, "Yeah, you know, I'm rich. You know, I do this."
Young kids, though.
Yeah, young kids, stupid shit.
Keith kind of embraced that a little bit, right? He's following in your footsteps a little bit.
Keith
Your other brother,
Keith is so much better.
Do you think he'll try some of that?
I mean, we kind of all, again, I can kind of see it in myself too, because I went through that same stage when I was 16. Keith did the same thing. He went through the same stage when he was 16. It took him, when he moved out here, then he was like, flipped a switch, you know? He just was like, okay, well, I can really make something of myself, and I can really do this shit. I do give him a lot of respect because he
takes his patience in his fight game.
Yeah, he
doesn't let things get to him,
and he takes the long road in general. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't give him shit. Like, I don't give him anything. You know, like he don't make no money fighting now, and you know, I help him out. Like, obviously he lives with me, and you know, I do things for him all the time. But I make it a point not to give him nothing, and to tell him I'm not gonna give him nothing, to still keep that hunger. You know what I mean? Because he's just very hungry, and he gonna go out there and he gonna get it. So,
damn, this is so cool learning more about you. I think we've had you in here talking fights so much and other shit that
kind of forget.
Yeah. But I had heard that about the you know, moving family, and I really thought, well, it's him and his brother. I mean, not that I was taking away anything from that,
I'll even say this: my parents, I was able to send my parents back for Memorial Day, and as bad as it is, the rest of my family kind of hates me.
Really?
Yeah, they hate me. They think that when people
because
see
you pulled your family out here?
when people see you on TV, like, they just think you making millions and millions of dollars. Like, they do. Like, and it's stupid, especially when they see you on, you know, especially the thing in Dallas kind of blew up a little bit, you know, and like they see him like on TMZ and ESPN and shit like that. And they're like, oh, they making it, you know what I mean? They making money. Like, where's my pie? You know, like when my parents went back, and this is why I haven't been back in a while. But when my parents went back, everybody, you know, they gave them the side eye. You know what I mean? Like, you know, almost got into like some fight, almost got into like some scuffles over nothing. You know, because they think they're rich and they want. People are stupid. Again, people are stupid. They do stupid shit. They rob people that live right next door to them with nothing. You know what I mean? And crabs in a bucket. You know what I mean? They try and pull you back down. They try and get you back to that because they're like, hey, you out there, you know, they by extension, my parents, because they live here now, are like an extension of me. So when they go back, they're like, hey, y'all out there, y'all doing good. I'm going to make sure you're not doing good. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fuck you up, you know, like, because you're angry, because they're angry, you know what I mean? Because they're still stuck in the same situation, still in the same place. So they get angry at people who make it out, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna fuck you up then, you know, like I'm gonna ruin your life then, you know.
Wow.
So, and people in your own
Sorry to hear
family,
that.
people in your own family would do it, but you know.
Sounds like your parents won't be going back anytime soon.
No time soon, baby.
Let's take this quick call, and then we'll do the last commercial. Brian in Boston. What's up, Brian?
Hey, boys.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Hey, Kevin, during this phone segment, I'm going to ask respectfully that you don't talk about my mother, or I'm going to jump through this phone line.
Gotcha.
Hey, guys, earlier in the week we had the Mighty Mouse Johnson kind of come to Jesus on the internet there. And normally, Dana White will go the route of Donald Trump. Whenever someone says something about him that isn't true, he goes bananas the next day on social media or an interview, denying left and right. Have you heard Dana come out and say anything about that statement? Because I haven't seen anything on the couple of sites that I checked. He seems to be quiet on that, which leads me to believe that maybe he did say that crap to Mighty Mouse.
As far as denying that he was going to take away the division?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I've only seen that he's a
either.
lunatic for not taking the TJ fight. And he kind of went through a sequence of what was offered. But, yeah, he did not steadfastly deny that.
I think that's maybe like the old school thinking of the UFC, like they used to run it like the mob or something where it was all about respect and stuff. But now I think they realize it's a corporation, it's a business, it's it's WME now, not just Zuffa. So they're not gonna let Dana just give them all that bad PR, because that would be a very bad road for them to go down and try and get in it with one of their biggest fighters.
Yeah, they just they just left it there. They never addressed him mentioning taking away the division going away. So I think they just wanted to go away. Anyways, I won't take up any more time. See you, boys.
Okay, see you, Brian. All right, we're gonna take this quick break, and then Kevin, I want you to let this marinate, because we're only gonna have a few minutes when we come back. Daniel Cormier said, speaking of the African American fighters, they haven't been marketed right. They haven't nailed it yet. I want to see if you have any ideas about that, because I know you recently went back to Detroit, and you were promoting what could be a future fight in Detroit, and I'm sure the Chiesa fight and everything else. But, man, we've had a great exchange of ideas here of where you're from and everything, and maybe you have something, because, I mean, a lot of African-American athletes are doing exceptionally well in mixed martial arts, and, just like other sports, there's going to be more coming. So, anyway, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Kevin Lee in the house.
Charm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, we're about to wrap up here, but I had one last question for Kevin Lee. Kevin, how can the UFC promote black fighters?
Yeah,
better?
it is a very hard thing to do. It is, and for a long time you're gonna be in the red, that's for sure. And the UFC knows that, and I think that's why they've always been kind of hesitant about it. And it's not even just the UFC. It's been like pretty much every fight promotion in combat sports history, even boxing and stuff. Like boxing just now catching. But once you had the rise of Floyd and, you had Mike Tyson and stuff like that, you had certain guys that can pull that market, but it still is a very hard market to pull. The closest one I'll say right now to pulling it is actually Conor. Because of the way, and this is what I meant when I said, Conor wants to be like me, because he does, and he pulls, and it's smart of him because it's making him the money, it's making more money. But what he's doing is he's taking a lot of like what Floyd does and what like a lot of young rappers and stuff like do, you know what I mean? Like that type of character plays really well. And one of the biggest things we got to do, I think personally, to get, because there's two types of black market, right? You got black people, which are just, it can be marketed like any other, but then you got the niggas, and I say that not as like, I'm just saying that as like a category, you know what I mean? Like somebody, like for some reason, people think like Demetrius Johnson can market to black people, and he can't. Just because he's black don't mean he can market to, it's just not going to happen. He lives in Washington, in the suburbs of Washington. It's just, it's just not going to happen. People gonna look at him and they're gonna like, oh yeah, the little dude over there, like they don't even know, like people still are in niggas, I'll say, are still like in the portion of like, oh, they out there just punching and kicking each other. You know what I mean? Like they don't really. There's been some education, but for the most part, they don't really understand it still. You know what I mean? They know like Conor, they know Diaz brothers. That's pretty much it. You know what I mean?
You got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Danny, we'll do the soft ending, and I just want to share a story about a fight I went to. It was in Orange County, California. It was Terrell Ware, the Flash. Is that his name?
Terrion Ware
versus John Murphy. And when I was there, so it was kind of had an OC feel versus LA feel, which is, I'll put it in your terms, Detroit feel and Birmingham feel.
Okay.
So a little bit of the suburbs, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't like white hate blacks, black hate white. It wasn't that.
Right.
It was just that's where
it's
they were
culture.
from. Right. But I'll tell you what, man. The brothers that accompanied Terrion, whether it was his actual family, his homies, his posse, his neighbors, his this, his that, whatever, they were into it.
Okay?
I
will say
because
this.
violence was taking place, athleticism was taking place.
I was
watching that going, why aren't we marketing more towards even hardcore Hispanics that love boxing and African Americans, because they were into it. Now let me just do this soft exit here, and then we'll continue. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. Thanks for listening all week. The overtime will be available if you go to Facebook.com, official MMA Junkie, YouTube.com, MMA Junkie Video, and, of course, on iTunes. And keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the weekend for UFC Fight Night 110. We're going to continue with the overtime right now.
I'm gonna have me some money, it cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time.
Guys, are clear for overtime.
So I was watching it, and they were into it, and they made it fun because it, they were into their fight. Yeah, exactly. They had great energy, and so I'm thinking, however they got into it, others can get into it. You know. So how does the UFC market to African American?
It can be done, and it's actually, again, it's not that hard to do that. But what's hard is to get the return on money, because, again, and I mean, I'm just using Detroit as an example because that's what I know. But, you take Detroit, you take L.A., like east side of L.A. or whatever, and then, Chicago, Philly, Atlanta, like places like that, Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not a lot of money there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's energy.
Let me politely disagree on one thing, though. Here's another thing. I'm going to bring you into this. Now, I don't know if it's just the TMT crowd or what, but the Las Vegas store, what's it called?
Fight Shop.
Fight Shop.
Yeah.
They told me that when Floyd fights, they clean the place up. So they're spending money.
Oh,
and that
crazy.
ticket, Floyd, when he fights towards the end, it was like $800 just to get in the door,
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars. So if they back their athletes, they're spending. They were out there. They were wearing the TMT.
That's people coming to Vegas who already are in for what they, they know they're going to have to pay for the room.
But again, the way that
when I was
Floyd,
at the Pistons game, there was a lot of people that
but the way that Floyd did it, and I mean, he's smart. He got people, and this is kind of what you got to do as a black athlete in general. He got people to hate him. He got his money from the Mexicans. That's why he always fights on Mexican Independence Day. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying you seeing him as a completed product. What I'm saying is the build up to that.
Okay.
You know, he didn't get big. He didn't have much support before he fought Oscar De La Hoya. You know, the driving force behind him has always been
That's
the
a
Mexicans.
good point.
You know,
That is a good point.
Probably more Mexicans and whites
Oh,
bought that pay-per-view
absolutely.
to see him lose than blacks did
You're right.
to see him win.
Absolutely,
right?
and that's why he throws his. You know, he only ever fights May
That's
and
true.
September, Mexican Independence Day and Cinco de Mayo. You know, he's smart. You know, that's.
So is it something like this? If you're in Detroit and you're doing radio, AM, FM, whatever, and people are listening, is it more like
people?
Man, let me know when you're champ. Then I'm into you. Like right now, you're just the brother
It's
that's
what
doing
it
this
is,
thing,
you know,
you know, does it take more winning?
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah. Again, you know, winning always trumps everything. You know,
Right.
people love winners.
Because
But
the Pistons are full when they're
yeah,
winning, right? And if not, they come a couple grand short of selling out.
Exactly. You know, and even then, like, even when I went back and I was like doing a little promotion, I could feel the love there. People will love you, but they won't support you. You know, they ain't gonna pay for it. You know, like, they ain't gonna pay for shit. You know, like, even people in my own family, like, they love me, like, they obviously support me, but they ain't gonna pay for it. You know, like, that's the biggest thing. You know, like, the Mexicans will pay for it. You know, the white people will pay for it. that's just is what it is. The rich black people will pay for it. Black people in general will pay for it, but only after niggas get behind you, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know if I'm making sense, but, you know, it's just it's a hard market to capture, and the UFC hasn't done it yet. I think they can do it. They just need the right person to do it. You know what I mean?
Drives the truck. He's got a business. He goes out. He goes to his fair share of shows. You know what I mean? So are you telling me there's just not enough showtimes, middle class?
Yeah.
Because maybe the rich just are too busy counting their money, or they're just jet setting the Floyd fights. They're not at the UFC level, so it's like the middle class.
And Floyd
not
even
enough
had
middle
to,
class. I mean, I
and
don't
Floyd
know if
even had to put himself on that, and that's what like basketball players and stuff do. They put themselves on that level of being a celebrity. You know what I mean? Because Floyd's much more than a fighter. The man's a celebrity. You know, like when you go, you know, he gets paid to go places. You know, he's much more than just somebody.
People that don't watch boxing and know who he is.
Exactly, and he even said it. You know, and I do like study a lot of his game and a lot of his promotional work. I think he's a great promoter and a great way of promoting. But when he created 24/7, he didn't create it to capture fight fans, because fight fans are already know who he is. You know what I mean? He did it to capture everyone else, like people who aren't fight fans at all. You know, like you think Kardashian gives a fuck if, you know, how to throw a jab properly? Like, she don't give a fuck. But, you know, she sees a lot of money. And that's what Conor's doing now. You know, like he's promoting himself above fighting. If that makes sense.
DC and Demetrius were more hood, do you think they'd have more?
They don't even have to be more hood. They just gotta be more of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Demetrius is just himself, and I think he's just a nerdy dude, and just like don't really care too much, which is cool. It's cool, but you just not gonna be like, you can't do that and then expect to get something from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that, because it takes a lot of promotion. It takes a lot of work, and nobody wants to do the work. Like, Conor don't want to do the promotion that he does. I don't think. You know what I mean? He does it for the money. But then you can't not do that and expect to have the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, Demetrius has gone out of his way to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be. And it's like, okay, well, don't do it then. Who cares? Like, make your own, you know, if you cool with making $100,000, like, cool, do that. You know what I mean? If you want to make some money, like, then you know what you got to do. If you're not willing to do that, then, oh, well, like, that's on you. You know what I mean? And it's cool. Like, it's all right. But they never going to capture the market that way. You know, I think the other closest one to do it is Tyrone. Tyrone can do it. It's just, you know, Tyrone's got his own way of doing things sometimes. So, you know, Tyrone plays the fence a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't think you can really. I mean, you got to play the fence because obviously get some deals with Fox, and, you know, he's a commentator and stuff like that. Yeah,
right.
yeah, of course. So
yeah, it's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's about a balance, and everything's about being well-rounded. And I think that's what I show people, is that, you know, I can hang around. You know, I can go to the hood and you know, I'm actually more comfortable there. You know what I mean? I'm more comfortable being myself there. But then at the same time, I can go and hang around, you know, rich billionaires at the UFC athlete retreat and, you know, get along with them as well. So I think everything's about being well-rounded, but you just got to pick and choose your spots where you can be that.
Makes sense.
We kept you long enough. Thank you so much for doing the show.
I ain't got nothing till 1:30.
Sharon, so you want to keep going? I got more
Thank you, my man.
No,
No, that's all good.
All right, folks. So this really is it. Thanks for sticking around. A little overtime. That's Kevin Lee. Follow him on Twitter and on Instagram at Motown Phenom.
At Instagram is the best way because I'm active on there.
And he's got a fight on June 25th against Michael Chiesa. That's the headline bout at UFC Fight Night 112. Good luck in that fight. Hey, I heard he's got a good squeeze. You've been training those submission defense, right?
I've been on top of my game.
I think Joe Lozon or someone or Darius said, man, he goes.
Well,
he's got a squeeze. Yeah,
he says he's just got a good squeeze.
He's got a good squeeze. And I've already been choked out a couple times in this camp, so I'm getting used to it.
All right, we are out of here, folks. Big thanks to Kevin Lee for doing the show and everybody else who did the show throughout the week. I usually read them off. I'll just read them off next Monday. We're out of here. Go out there and be champions.